Next, we're going to try our hand at creating a little tree logo that has some some really contemporary flat icon design, very clean and simple, just using simple strokes and shapes in Adobe Illustrator. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to kind of get our leaf going. I'm just going to get the circle tool or the ellipse tool here and begin. Go ahead and put my gradient tab away. I'm not going to be using gradients. It's going to be flat design, no gradients allowed. So I'm just going to kind of do my leaf here, which doesn't look much like a leaf, but that can change. So we can take our little curvature tool. If we double click on the curvature tool, it's going to switch to a sharp edge. And if we double click, it's going to switch back. So if you're not already familiar with kind of that aspect, so that's all I did to kind of create that leaf shape. Switch it back to a stroke. I'm going to make it a nice thick stroke. But let's go ahead and make it a little bit smaller first. And then get our stroke, probably keep our stroke panel out since we'll be doing a lot of stroke work. What I like to do, instead of doing harsh black, sometimes I like to design simple flat icons and kind of a little bit of a medium to dark gray. For some reason, it kind of helps my mind view color, and I don't like to design with color right away sometimes when I'm still drawing symbols. So somehow like doing this lighter gray seems to be kind of helps me view it with color even though I'm not actually using color. Just kind of, because this is so harsh, not all the colors we're ever going to use in this logo are going to be as harsh as black. So light gray kind of helps your eye kind of design a little bit better, thinking about the future when this is going to be in color. So I'm going to click on OK, and we can add little ornaments to the leaf. So I'm just going to zoom in really tight here, just taking our pen tool. I'm going to do like a little pill shape. So I'm just going to go over to my stroke panel and do a nice round cap and give it kind of that look. And want to kind of get a little bit of a thinner weight there. Just hold down Option. I'm going to duplicate that going up. And we can go ahead and adjust all of these endpoints to kind of go more toward the center of the leaf. And what I can do if I want everything to be exact, we can just change one of these to get the right angle, make sure that's in the center, and then now I can duplicate. A lot of times in logo design, I see a lot of my students struggle with this concept, so I really wanted to make sure I brought it up, is they'll do this really great detailed logo design, but they make the strokes really thin, so when you zoom out, you kind of lose the details of the logo. So every logo, see the little leaf right now, that needs to be, all the details need to be seen from about this distance or about that size. So that's going to make the logo really flexible and adaptable. We kind of covered this a little bit in the strong logo design characteristics lesson. So when in doubt, try to have a little bit of a thicker stroke if you can, if you're going to have thin lines. So let's go ahead and do just that. Let's go ahead and make the thickness a little bit thicker, and we can start to kind of mess with shapes and details. So let's go ahead and zoom in, and I want to have like a nice rounded edge here, so I'm just going to take the direct selection tool, kind of round that edge, that little bit of a top to give it a soft look. I can even take the curvature tool and double click down here on this bottom to kind of make it more of a sharp edge like you would see on a traditional leaf. And I can even take the width tool and kind of change the widths of these caps here, so I can just kind of make them a slightly smaller. So just continuing to work on this and kind of maybe added a little fourth little vein there on that sign, and we could do a little bit of coloring. One thing we could do is we can copy and paste this, and since that's a stroke, I could switch that to a fill, so that's going to be easy to fill out. Going to send that to the back, and we can make this any kind of green color we'd like. So let's go ahead and find a green color that's nice and vibrant. We can go ahead and take this, we can go ahead and do path. And if we want to have that thickness, we can. This is the time where we can adjust that. Maybe do something in the middle, maybe 3.5. And then we could just go to path, outline our stroke, and then we can kind of change this. And this also needs to be outlined, these paths. So I'm just going to go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, and let's go ahead and adapt the same green color, but let's make it a little bit of a shade darker to kind of add some dark hues there. So there's kind of our leaf icon that we did fairly quickly. Since the paths are outlined, I can go ahead and kind of change this how I'd like. I can group it together. I can duplicate it by holding down Option and dragging. I can reflect it so it has the exact opposite side. And you can see how you can create quite a wide variety of things this way.